Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered, is this it? Is this who I am forever? Or maybe you've watched a friend make the same mistake over and over and thought, can people ever really change? It's a huge question, one that philosophers, psychologists, and all of us have wrestled with. Are we just a collection of fixed traits set in stone by our DNA and early childhood, or are we more like clay, capable of being reshaped throughout our lives? Let's dive deep into this today. For a long time, the popular belief was that our personalities were pretty much locked in by the time we hit adulthood. You've heard the phrases, a leopard can't change its spots, or you can't teach an old dog new tricks. This idea suggests that our core traits, whether we're introverted or extroverted, agreeable or confrontational, anxious or stable and enduring. This is known in psychology as the trait theory. It argues that while we might act differently in various situations, our underlying personality remains consistent. Think about it. The friend who was the life of the party in high school is probably still the person organizing get-togethers 20 years later. The quiet, bookish kid might now be a university professor. There's a certain comfort in this idea, a sense of predictability. It helps us understand ourselves and others. But is it the whole story? Well, modern science, especially neuroscience, has thrown a fascinating wrench into this old way of thinking. We've discovered something called neuroplasticity. It sounds complicated, but the concept is beautifully simple. Our brains are not fixed, rigid organs. They are constantly changing, adapting, and rewiring themselves based on our experiences, thoughts, and behaviors. Every time you learn a new skill, form a new habit, or even just think a new thought, you are physically altering the structure of your brain. Tiny neural pathways are being created and strengthened. This means that, on a biological level, change is not just possible, it's happening all the time. Think about someone who decides to learn a new language. At first, it's incredibly difficult. Their brain struggles to form new connections. But with consistent practice, the pathways for that language become stronger, more efficient. Eventually, speaking it feels natural. The same principle applies to our personalities. If you're naturally shy, but you consciously decide to put yourself in more social situations, to practice initiating conversations, your brain will adapt. You are literally building new social circuits. It's not about faking it. It's about rebuilding your internal wiring. This is incredible news because it hands the power back to us. We're not just passive passengers in our own lives, we're active architects of our brains. So, if our brains can change, why does it often feel so hard? Why do we fall back into old patterns? Well, this is where habits and our comfort zone come into play. Our brains are efficient. They love taking shortcuts. Habits are just superficient neural pathways that have been reinforced over years. Think about driving a car. You don't consciously think about every little action anymore. Your brain is on autopilot. The same goes for our emotional and behavioral habits. If your go-to response to stress is to get irritable, that's a well-worn neural highway. Trying to respond with patience is like trying to forge a new path through a dense forest. It takes immense effort and conscious intention at first. This is the core of the struggle. Change isn't a single event. It's a process. It requires consistent, deliberate effort. You're not just fighting against an old habit, you're fighting against the brain's natural tendency to take the path of least resistance. It's why New Year's resolutions so often fail. We have a burst of motivation, but we don't have a strategy for the hard, boring, day-to-day work of forging that new path. True transformation isn't about a lightning bolt moment of inspiration. It's about the small, daily choices we make to step off the familiar highway and start clearing that new trail, twig by twig. Let's consider the difference between changing our core personality and changing our behaviors. Maybe you'll always be an introvert at your core meaning. You recharge your energy through solitude. That might not change, but can you learn to be a confident public speaker? Absolutely. Can you become a great leader who enjoys connecting with your team? Yes, you aren't changing your fundamental nature, you're expanding your capabilities. You're adding new skills and behaviors to your toolkit. An introvert can learn extroverted skills for specific situations, just like an extrovert can learn to appreciate quiet contemplation. This is a crucial distinction. We often get caught up in trying to become a completely different person. But maybe the goal isn't to erase who we are, but to add to who we are. It's about becoming a more versatile, more resilient, and more complete version of ourselves. Think of it like this. The foundation of your house might be fixed, but you can always renovate. Add new rooms, change the decor, and knock down a few internal walls. The structure remains, but the living space can be completely transformed. You're not abandoning yourself, you're upgrading it. So, what does it take to actually make a change? The first step is awareness. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. This means being brutally honest with yourself. What are the patterns and behaviors you want to change? Why do you want to change them? Your why is your fuel. Without a powerful, compelling reason, your motivation will fizzle out when things get tough. Is it for your health, your relationships, your career, your own peace of mind? Get crystal clear on that. Next, you need a plan, but a realistic one. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick one thing. Just one. Want to be more patient. Don't just say, I'll be more patient. Instead, create a specific, actionable goal. For example, the next time I'm in a long line at the grocery store, I will take 3 deep breaths instead of getting frustrated. This is small, measurable, and achievable. Every time you succeed, you're not just practicing patience, you're casting a vote for your new identity. You're sending a signal to your brain. This is who I am now. Each small win builds momentum and strengthens those new neural pathways. And finally, a crucial, often overlooked ingredient, self-compassion. You will mess up. You will revert to old habits. It's inevitable. The moment you slip, you have a choice. You can beat yourself up, say, "See, I knew I couldn't change," and give up. Or you can treat yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend. You can say, "Okay, that was the old pattern. What did I learn? Let's try again." Failure isn't proof that you can't change, it's part of the process of changing. Every stumble is a lesson. Self-compassion is the safety net that allows you to get back up and keep walking that new path, no matter how many times you trip. So, can we ever truly change who we are? The answer is a resounding and scientifically backed yes. We may not be able to change the raw material we were born with, the fundamental temperament that forms our foundation, but to say that's all we are is to ignore our incredible capacity for growth, learning, and adaptation. We are not fixed statues, but living, evolving beings, constantly shaped by our choices and our efforts. The person you are today does not have to be the person you are tomorrow. The power to redraw your own map, to rewire your own mind, is in your hands. It's not easy, but it is possible. And that is one of the most hopeful and empowering truths there is. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive today. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts and your own stories of change in the comments below. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe for more content that helps us understand ourselves and live better lives. See you in the next one.